We are rolling on August 17th, 2017, here at UCLA, where it's a beautiful day. The sunshine is shining. Eat your heart out, East Coast. Linda is getting in the power stance. Take your hand off your hip. Shake your arms out. No tension in your arms. Leave them free to just gesture. Look around the room. Say to yourself, I respect my audience, and really mean it. Find friendly eyes near the front and center. Say your name. Feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi, my name is Linda.
Hi, Linda. Oh, but excuse me, before you start, could I ask someone to please time? Does someone have an Apple phone they could time with? Yeah. Okay. Just at the end, say it was 2 minutes, 39 seconds, or whatever it was. Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Start your speech, Linda.
Okay. Over the course of 24 hours, I've learned that a gesture of respect is great for when you want to pet someone's dog, but not so great when you may have inadvertently cut someone off in traffic, but more on that later. Today I want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the respect experiment and what I learned from them. I think the best outcome from this experiment involved an elderly woman and her very, very cute dog. I was unloading moving boxes from the back of my friend's trunk on Kelton when I locked eyes with a small Maltese trotting along the grass, and I shifted my gaze up and I locked eyes with her owner, and she greeted me and she said, "Good morning, how are you?" To which I responded, "I'm great. Can I pet your dog?" And she laughed, and I cuddled with her dog, and I had a new conversation with a new neighbor. As for the bad, they weren't so much negative experiences as they were people who ignored me or turned away or for their brow in confusion. The bad experiences I generally forgot about pretty quickly. As for the ugly, really the only ugly experience I had occurred at a red light stop. I was rolling to a brake when I merged into the lane beside me, which I know is very bad form, which is probably why when I stopped I saw a red Mini Cooper pull up beside me, and I saw the driver glaring at me through 2 sets of tinted windows. As I had done the entire day, I smiled, I nodded, and I said, "I respect you." I repeated the mantra, and she responded by flipping me off and then speeding away. So I guess I really poked the bear on that one. What I learned from the respect experiment is that most people aren't used to strangers greeting them, even non-verbally, but I also learned that most people seem to appreciate it. And from my own perspective, I learned that the good experiences generally outweighed the bad, and the bad experiences, the people who ignored me or looked at me in confusion, I forgot about pretty quickly. Because what really mattered in the end to me was that I gained a position as a part-time dog sitter for Lola the Maltese. So, that's the end.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's start on this side today.
The time was 2 minutes, 17 seconds.
2 minutes, 10 seconds?
17.
17 seconds. Okay, thank you.
I thought the way.
Start with your name.
Hi, my name's Lorena.
Hi, Lorena. Stay in the power stance. It's a good habit.
You presented your speech was very well done. You have a really outgoing voice. So.
Yeah. Improvement.
Hi, my name is Lisbeth.
Hi, Lizbeth.
And I feel like the only improvement is locking eyes with your audience.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where you're look on the floor, it just kind of fades off.
Yeah, like in the space in between.
Yeah. But other than that, you did a pretty good job.
Liked your speech. You're a very likable speaker. You did some things that I think could be improved upon that will make you a better speaker. First off, in the beginning, when you're making your first big point, your introduction, when you're grabbing your audience, as I said in my 7-part mantra, say your find friendly eyes near the front and the center, say your name, feel the love, start your speech. I mean to find some friendly eyes and lock on them for about 5 seconds or your whole introduction, because if you're going like this, well, I learned it was the dogs. It wasn't so good, so bad, and as I learned them. But more on that later. If you're darting around and flitting your eyes around as you were, and you'll see that on YouTube tonight, you'll see that that's not as effective as burning in on somebody or some area, for your introduction and then moving around. However, I thought your intro was intriguing because you sort of gave us you cut somebody off, maybe there was an accident, something unexpected. So I gave you points for sort of meeting the criterion for a good introduction. Her thesis, you notice, was good. She said she told you where she was going. She gave you a roadmap, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what I learned. She said it really with a nice loud voice so we knew what was coming. You kind of made a pact with your audience and we could follow you, right? So that was good. Moo. So just after that, it's sometimes good, as you've seen from the significance statement, to say something like, I think you will learn a lot from what I learned. But hey, it wasn't in the prompt, but it's good to always have that one last little sell to the audience. Okay. So on your good, you went right to the good, and what I want you to do, Linda, is learn to remember you've got a narrative going now. It's good, it's bad, it's ugly. It's a narrative that's burned into it's an enthymeme, and it's something that the people know from the Clint Eastwood movie, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. They've heard it before. So it's, good, bad, ugly. I can follow that. It's like past, present, future. Yeah, that's easy to remember. So you have a narrative going. So you say, on the good, with your voice, with a little bit louder. And then you say, you talked about the Maltese, and good morning. You were saying the mantra, and it prompted you to say good morning, and you petted her, and you got a dog walking or dog watching contract out of that, which is great. I saw a story on the news where someone in Palos Verdes hired a professional dog walker and had their house cleaned out by him. So I hope she doesn't get her house cleaned out by you. Then you go on and you say, but there wasn't just the good. Run your narrative. There was also the bad.
So transitions?
Better transitions. And I like the way he said, right, people ignored me. And people will ignore you, but remember, this is for your benefit, Linda, to get you in the habit of saying the mantra over and over again. Just be in the habit of doing it. On the ugly. Yeah. I think you have to be careful about smiling or giving people what we call a SHIT eating grin when you sort of commit a faux pas. It almost seems like you're being smug to them, whereas you can just silently say, I respect you, or you can mouth sorry or something like that. I tend to, when people let me over, I give them a little wave in the back of the room to reinforce courteous behavior on the freeway, because as you know, when you signal, many times people speed up. So I try to reinforce courtesy by giving people a little wave, which comes from me repeating the mantra a lot. When you got flipped off, that's when you don't go into road rage mode and flip her off back. You say, I respect you, It's pathetic that you have that way to express yourself, and you need anger management training, etc., yourself, but I respect you, On what I learned, I thought you summarized nicely. The only thing I would say is, so I've told you the good, the bad, the ugly. Now let me tell you what I've learned with your voice. I thought what you learned was well said. And then finally, in the summary, conclusion, and tie back, I just wish, instead of you ending on a whimper, you would have just said, so I've told you the good, the bad, the ugly, and a little bit of what I learned. And then a little clever tie back too. And I've also learned to be careful in cutting people off
Yeah.
traffic. See, that would have been the full circle, the tie back to where you start. But other than that, excellent job. Thank you. Okay, next. Okay. And do we have somebody ready on deck, I hope? On deck, good. On deck, good. Okay, rock and roll. Okay. Okay, you're a different height. Let me change the camera. Oh boy. Okay. Remember, stay right in the center of that box. You're doing well, though. You're doing fine. Good. Shake your arms out. No tension. Yeah, just let it go. Okay. Lizbeth stands before you, managing attention, communicating respect, finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name. Feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
I come from a city that's quite known for bringing out some of the most influential rappers in the West Coast. It is said to be the city of hope, a place where minorities come and prosper to bring a better life to their family. It is also a place, as you guys can tell, that is kind of awkward when you stare at someone and sometimes your stares get pulled off at something wrong. I do a pretty good job in being respectful. I'm very outgoing. I say hi to unfamiliar faces and bless them with a good day. But what I found very complicated with the speech, the experiment, was looking at a person for a few seconds and repeating the words, "I respect you." And now I'm going to tell you the good and the bad, the ugly that I experienced during this experiment. The first 48 hours that I conducted the speech, I got some of the bad respect was just being ignored and not being looked at, but I overmind that because I really don't mind. But something that made me feel compelled in telling you guys the story was this talk that I had with an elderly man, which he felt comfortable in telling me his story, his life story. It started off at being in a line of a taco truck. I looked at him and I said in my head, "I respect you." Throughout that, he smiled at me and asked me how my day was. That's how the conversation started. He ended up telling me that he was a 70-year-old man, that in the 1970s he would bring one of his 4 children every year to bring them to the United States from El Salvador because they would have gotten a better life here. He went off in telling me that he
worked a long time. They went to college.
He worked long
Remember your
hours.
story, yeah.
He worked long hours in which he was manufacturing and producing boxes. But what made him happy at the end of his struggle was that his kids ended up going to college. He ended up at the end telling me that he was grateful that I had listened to him and that it made him feel interested that a person my age was so intrigued in the story of his past. Now the bad was something we all encountered, was being ignored and being looked at with weird eyes. But the ugly in my experience was something that I never expected to happen. It was quite hilarious. I was in the corner of a gas station pumping gas, and at the other street there was a lady who was in her mid-20s, and I looked at her and I glanced at her and I said in my head, "I respect you." Little did I know that she was selling herself and she got the wrong idea. She later came towards me and started to ask me if I had a problem with her and if I was judging her job. I was so scared, I just got in the car and I left. I knew it would have been a better idea to try to explain myself, but at that moment I panicked. I really did not know what to do. Throughout this experiment, I learned something that I kind of already knew, which was being a small gesture can make a person's day a lot better. I also learned that it should also be a place, you should also be careful in the place that you're communicating, because it could be an awkward position. It could be a very awkward position where you find yourself in a situation that you could be getting in a fight with a hooker. And yeah, sorry.
Okay, on that positive note, we'll go here. What did you like, sir? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, looking at you.
Hi, I'm Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Her speech was very loud.
Loud, so you can hear her, Lee.
I'm kind of backside of
You're in the
class,
back side,
but
yes.
Still can hear very clearly.
Okay.
And
Thank you, Lee. I think you spoke already, right? No?
No.
Okay, good. I guess I confused your question with speaking.
Yeah, I had the question about the thesis.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Damon.
Hi, Damon.
I'd say the main thing
Don't
that I
pinch your
feel
hands,
you
give
would
'em
need
loose.
to improve on is that you would talk very quickly and you would do so like this, where you would keep talking and you wouldn't really be able to tell the words apart because you would have so much to say and you would really want to get it out quickly because, you know, you don't really have a lot of time in this speech and you really needed to get through a lot of stories and they were very detailed stories that were really funny. I really liked the hooker story, but you can see how when I keep doing this for long enough, people start tuning out to the fact that, you know, this is a lot of words that are coming at them very quickly.
Great. What was the time?
3 minutes, 17 seconds.
3 minutes, 17 seconds. You went a little bit over. Elizabeth, let me quickly talk to you about your speech. You tell us you come from Compton, you know, a great place that's produced many notable things, a city to be proud of, but also a city where if you stare too long, you might get shot, as you sort of implied. And you had to be careful, and I appreciate you pointing that out. So it was a good introduction. And a good thesis preview, just a little more with your voice, past, present, future, and then transition on the past. And then you told the story about the old man that put his kids through college and came here, and they all went to college, and he was very proud and appreciated you listening to him. And this is a result of you saying to yourself, I respect you. And when you do that, you become a listener. You become a kind human being. Yes, he is absolutely right. You slur your words. You will see that tonight on YouTube. What you need to do is, what you have is what I call a lazy lip problem. What you need to do is practice giving your speech by putting your mouth, your teeth together. Put your teeth together like the bite. You have a nice smile. And start saying the words. Today I want to share with you 3 stories that happened to me. The good, the bad, the ugly. Try that by keeping your teeth together as you speak. Try it. Just try
Today
speak.
I want to tell you guys the good.
Over pronouncing and overusing your lips to get in the habit of using them. Use your lips.
Today I want to tell you the good,
Under your hands.
the bad, and the ugly.
You overuse your lips. Do your whole speech that way and your lazy lip problem will go down if you do that and slow down. Okay? Mm-hmm. On your... Well, we'll ignore the bad, because everyone's bad was the same, but the ugly was good. She scared you. I'm wondering if you looked a little too long, and she had a guilty conscience, but she says, you judge me, I'll kick your ass, right? And once again, I want to just mention to you that shows the power of the story. I trust of everything you said, people are going to remember Shelby got beaten up by a hooker, right? You know, they all remember that. 2 things, and I wanted to say this also to Linda. You need to work on your walking. You did not walk 3 times. The good, 3. The bad, 5. The ugly, back to center. Linda, you kind of walked in pace, but you didn't do the full, proper walk. Overall, excellent job. Thank you. Okay, next.
Thank you.
Who's on deck?
Mimi.
Mimi? Okay, Mimi.
Hi.
Yeah.
I've been lying the whole time. My name is Mimi.
Hi, Mimi.
All right, okay. My name is Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. Okay, she's looking around the room, finding friendly eyes. She's writing, finding friendly eyes. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Okay. Well, my experiment that I would like to report to you on and share with you started with the exercise that Professor Miller started. And I have to be honest with you, I felt very awkward. Very. I will have to give credit to my classmate and my home slice over there without the hat today for giving that exercise respect. I felt it from her. I wanted to laugh. We both had a little giggle, honestly. It was awkward. But she gave that respect, and she gave me respect. And so I rose right up to that, and I gave it right back to her. And it started off, even though I was not expecting the experiment to start with the exercise, it started then. So I was pumped. We walked out. We had a few laughs about UCLA. We exchanged phone numbers, and I can tell you with almost certainty that would have never happened had we had not started with that exercise. So I was pumped up. I was excited. I was inspired. So I went over to Northern Lights, that little cafe, coffee cafe, and I thought, oh, I'm going to start it right now. I'm just going to kick it off. So I ordered my coffee from the barista who I have ordered from before. He's always been nice, but I repeated that mantra, I respect you, in my head, and I made sure that I did it. And I felt a little something extra from him. I really, truly felt it. And I thought, this is working. Like, he gave me a little nod, an extra smile, an extra something. There was something there that I felt. So I ordered my coffee, and then I was waiting, and a few other people had come in. And they were waiting to order their coffee. And I was just waiting for mine. And I had made contact, eye contact, and this is where I'm going to go into the good, the bad. I mean, it started off with my classmate, Jessica. It started off good. And then there was another immediately good experience with the barista. Now I'm going to go into the bad and the ugly. And this was surprising to me. I was waiting for my coffee. There was a man that came in. I made eye contact with him. I gave him a smile and a nod. I turned my back. He had smiled and nodded as well. I turned my back. I looked right back at him. And he was looking still. And he was looking hard. Like, I don't know if you guys know what that means, but he was looking hard. And I was like, okay, well, I have never in my life had two totally opposing thoughts in 1 second, which was, I respect you, and did I bring my pepper spray today? I mean, is it in my purse? So I don't know if it was as bad as it was creepy, but creepy's not a good word, so I'm going to go ahead and say it was bad. That was a bad feeling. I picked the wrong person to make eye contact with, and it didn't end up being so great. The last thing I want to talk about is the ugly. And there was a woman that walked into the same coffee shop, and now I'm just eyeballing the whole joint. Now I'm casing it, you know? I'm like, whose eyeballs can I get? So this woman walked in, and she was either very important, very in a hurry, very busy, or something. But I was like, she is not going to look at me. I am pretty sure that if I sit here and laser beam her eye sockets, she's still not going to look at me. And I know that you're not supposed to do that. That is not socially acceptable, at least anywhere I know. It is rude. But I thought, even if she did look up at this point, she would grab her pepper spray and mace my face and have every right, because I was just like, I just want to see if she looked up. But just to let you know, she never did. She never looked up. And that felt ugly. It feels ugly to be ignored. It feels ugly to feel small. And it's also an ugly action. So not only did it feel ugly to me, it was ugly on her part. And I thought to myself, I wonder how many times I've done that to people. Disregarded them, made them feel small or invisible. Nobody likes to feel that way, and that is ugly. I don't like to ever end on ugly notes, and I'm sorry if I go over just a little bit, but I was driving home, and I had to I had to drive through this very narrow passage to get into my parking space in my apartment building. And there was this guy, nice enough to stand there and like guide me through so that I wouldn't hit a wall or another car. And he stood there, and I looked through my windshield, and I repeated the mantra in my head, I respect you, through my windshield, and I swear I connected. It connected. he guided me through, and the whole time I was thinking, I respect you, and thank you for like taking the time to guide me through this. And then I don't know what happened after that. I like made too much eye contact, and I was in love, and I was like, oh my gosh, are we gonna get married? Are we gonna have babies? I don't even know what's happening anymore. But it ended up being a very good experience overall. And so what I learned was two things. I learned that, and I was very surprised that what I thought I would learn, I would be reporting on what I heard and what I saw. But what I'm reporting on and what I'm sharing with you is how I felt. I felt good, I felt bad, and I felt ugly. And I also want to reiterate something that we all learn, at least most of us learn as children, which is like a golden rule, like treat others how you would like to be treated. And I'm going to take it a step further. Treat others how they would like to be treated. And who doesn't want to be treated with respect? So, in conclusion, I would like to say that I learned quite a bit, and I was very surprised. And that words do matter. There's no doubt about that. I'm sure in our present climate, we can all agree that words matter. But words can speak volumes. Thank you.
Go on, please, quickly. Who's next? Go. We're following a pattern. We're going right across the room. You spoke, right?
No.
You didn't give a critique? I skipped you? Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Go ahead.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi,
I
Natalie.
really like the delivery of your speech. I like how you followed a pattern of stories. Like, it was really easy to follow. So.
Thank you.
Natalie, yes, and we'll go to you now, I guess. Yeah.
Hi, my name's Korkat.
Hi, Korkat.
I liked a lot of speech. I liked the stories. It felt like you weren't walking around as much, or you were making too much eye contact, or it was also feeling like maybe a bit rushed. But
Okay.
Thank you.
Time?
Time was 6 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah. 6 minutes, 30 seconds. This is almost 3 speeches. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, good. Well, you had a lot on your mind, Ashley. Let me quickly get you some feedback. When you watch yourself tonight on YouTube, you will see that your intro before you finally got to the thesis preview was much too long. You just meandered around. You could have just told the story of you and Jessica all giggling and laughing and you being dubious, but finally you broke on through, and then I'm going to tell you about the good, the bad, the ugly, and what I learned. Boom, boom. Done deal. Good. You know, go to the good. And second big thing I didn't get was the emphasis on the narrative with your voice. See? So when you go to your thesis preview, say, with a little extra oomph with your voice, I'm going to tell you about the good, the bad, the ugly. And then when you get there, you say, so now let me tell you about the good. The British Risers was mostly in the person, but we connected. You know, it was really excellent, and it really worked. You then sort of added you were misinterpreted because you looked too long, and this guy, I think, wanted to marry you or do something else to you, and maybe you looked too long. We've heard this from many women that a look can be misinterpreted by many wrong guys as, oh, she's in love with me or whatever.
He was the right guy, though. The other one was not.
The other one was, but that's often the way it plays, and yeah. So then, when you watch the whole thing, see if you don't, I don't agree with some of the feedback. I don't think it was that easy to follow in terms of the narrative. I think the stories were interesting and crisp and clear, but I didn't think you made it clear that I was on the bad, I'm on the ugly. You kind of moved the order around for what you originally said you were going to do. So if you're going to say, it doesn't matter if you put the ugly last or the good or the bad last, but keep it in the order that you say. The parking garage incident was yet another example of a good, a positive thing. By the way, in doing the exercise, you do not have to get eye contact. You can look at somebody, I respect you, and look away, and you've done your duty. You don't have to wait for that poor woman reading or engrossed in, War and Peace to look up and see you staring at her, right? And finally, what I learned, I'd like to compliment you on, I want to say one more thing to help you grow. You did not walk the 3 times purposefully. You paced. Watch how you walk. Just watch one time. You can watch it many times on YouTube. But you were just all over the place. The good. Tell us, stand and deliver. The badge. The ugly, back to center. And just stand one place. You were moving a lot. Finally, let me end on a positive note. You focused on how you felt too. And I want to emphasize there is that positive payoff to you. When you do the respect exercise, you will feel good. You will feel like you're making the world a little better place because you're sweetening the world, like you heard about someone speaking to an older man that most people ignore and don't hear his story, right, and so forth. So I'm glad you emphasize the feeling state. So that's enough. Good job. Thank you. Too long. Practice. Do this under time condition. Actually, so you respect the time limit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Will we get back to our speeches and then on Suba?
Now you get them on YouTube. Is there anybody on deck? Okay, good. Let's keep going fast. We got a lot to do today. Hi, rock and roll. Okay, she stands before you, and the power stance a little wider. Okay. Managing attention, communicating respect, finding friendly eyes in the front and center, saying your name, feel the love. Say your speech.
Hi, my name is Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
Hussein Nisha once said, treat others the way you want to be treated. Talk to people the way you want to be talked to. Respect is earned, not given. Now, we all know this as the golden rule, but how many of us actually follow it? And then people get really mad that someone is disrespecting them. But how many times do we actually take the time to evaluate our behaviors? Now, for the past 48 hours, I have went around and I have gestured, I respect you, to everyone I have encountered, whether it was on campus or at the grocery store. Now, I'm going to tell you about the good and the bad encounters along with what I've learned. So, although I got a lot of good encounters, the one that stood out to me the most was actually here on campus when I was walking to class. Now, this woman was walking towards me pushing a stroller, so I gave her a head nod and a smile. She started walking towards me with a lot more confidence. As she approached me, she said, "You are the only one on campus who actually seemed easy enough to approach." I was actually very drawn back at that comment, and then she continued asking, "Do you know where Royce Hall is?" So I pointed and I directioned her to Royce Hall. As she walked away, she thanked me for my nice gesture and my beautiful smile. Now, a lot of people definitely misinterpreted it. Now, the worst one definitely was at the grocery store with an elderly lady. I gave her the same head nod, same smile, same everything, but she totally just gazed at me, gave me a dirty look, and walked right past. Now, that didn't affect anything because I totally needed to go grocery shopping. And she felt so uncomfortable, and you could tell by her gestures. Now, a lot of people either gave me that same look, that confused look, and walked away. But at least on a good note, I didn't get any ugly encounters. Now, what I've learned in these past 48 hours is that the little things that we may find not or like indifferent can make such a big change in someone else's day. A simple smile could make someone else's day better, and a simple "Thank you" can make a tedious task be done more lively. Now, this also made me be more positive. I had a positive mindset, so this allowed me to be more optimistic to situations. So every time I would get that unpleasant, confused look, that was quite okay, you know? And although Hussein Nisha said that respect is earned, not given, I truly believe that respect should be given regardless of the circumstances. Respect should be given even to those who do not earn it, not as a reflection of their characteristics, but as a reflection of ours.
Stay up there for your feedback. Thank you very much. The next person quickly, please.
I'm Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
You're Jessica?
Yeah.
I really like your speech. Your narrative is very intriguing, and your tone is sometimes high and sometimes low, and it's also draw the audience attention.
Yeah.
And I also like your stories. It's quite common but very meaningful. I think for the women and take the stroller, and I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, stroller, yeah. Yeah, it's rather sad, but, you know, if you look around the campus and do this, you see, as I said already, people earphone and telephone up the second they hit the hall, and they're not interested in being helpful to people looking for directions. I'll just give you an example. Whenever I come out of lot 5 where I park, when I see people staring at that big map, going, where is what I'm looking at, I always stop and say, let me help you find where you're going and direct you. Just because I'm thinking I respect you and I want to help them. They didn't even ask me. Because I'm repeating the mantra. Yes, please.
Hello, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
I really enjoyed your speech. So it's going to be kind of hard, but maybe the only thing you can improve on is maybe just like staring at somebody for a while.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want her time? It was 2 minutes, 56 seconds.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, Jessica, good speech. Who is Hussein Nisha?
That's the person that said the quote.
And is this? If you find a quote from the internet, do a little more research and find out this is a writer, a successful motivational speaker. He's a poet or she's a poet. He's published 20 books. But give them a little credibility, okay?
Oh, so do I need to give feedback about the person who said, okay.
Yes, but thank you so much for using a quote to start your speech. You see how nicely it worked? You use a quote. Second thing, don't take this wrong, but if you can wear a bungee cord in your hair is hiding your face and your facial expression. So many times it's down like this, and I have to look in there I look in there to see what's going on, and I don't like that. So get your hair back behind your ears so we can see your pretty face, and we can see all your gestures when you're talking, okay? Yeah, good. So you're going to work on more eye contact, 5 seconds. The baby stroller, okay, and as I've said to everybody, work your narrative with your boys. Good, bad, ugly. The good. Baby stroller story was wonderful. It'll be remembered by everybody. You looked approachable. The bad, the supermarket, you didn't have any. Ugly, excellent. What you learned was well put. But what you said, what I learned, you just slurred over. So what did I learn? So what did I learn? Eat. Learned 3 things. Like that. So it really jumps out. And then it doesn't hurt to have a little. So in summary, say the word. They know you're doing that. And I like your ending because it was a sort of a rebuttal to some of the people in here that said, I ain't respecting anyone till I earn it. You said, one should show respect even to people who don't deserve it, not as a reflection of their character, but as a reflection of ours. Very well written and well put. The final thing is I want you to practice the walk a little better. It's 3, 5, 3, and walk and talk. but good job. Thank you. Okay, next and on deck. Hi, how you doing? Need to borrow my evil stapler. Okay. Okay, is it Anya?
Yes.
Anya stands before you, a little wider feet. Yeah, that's good. Managing attention, communicating respect, finding friendly eyes, near the front and center, say your name, feel the love. Put your hair behind your ears. Start your speech. Good.
Hi everybody, I'm Anya.
Hi, Anya.
For a long time since my childhood, there has been a question in my mind. That is, what makes us, the human beings, so different? We're not the only ones who can use tools, neither the only ones who have language. However, after this experiment, I knew that because it is because that we are the only ones who can understand others without any language. In this experiment, I had two stories. One is a good one, the other is bad. I'm sorry I didn't make some ugly things. Here comes the good story. It was on last Wednesday. I got a bad cold and had to go to the health center. I respect you, I murmured in my mind, non-verbally, and tried my best to let myself be more friendly. However, I'm a timid girl, and I was afraid of watching others' eyes even for a few minutes. However, it was a little unexpected that her eyes was wide open, and immediately she gave me a lovely smile. She understood it, I thought. I was ashamed of my poor English and afraid of chatting with others. However, at that moment, when she sat in front of me, her smile gave me courage to talk detailedly about my sore throat, my headache, and my difficulty in sleep. I even forgot the habit of looking down to my shoes and tried my best to communicate with her in my eyes. Have a nice day, she said, and gave me the prescription. But she didn't know that her smile really gave me a nice day. However, that was not always the case. And here is a bad story. We all know that the UCLA campus is large, and it's easy for a summer setting student like me to get lost in the campus. At that time, I didn't know the name of the halls nearby. My Google map didn't work. So I had to ask for help from passerby. I respect you, I thought. And excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry, she said politely and quickly. And then soon she went away. I could just stare at her figure and sigh. At that moment, I knew that it was all my fault. I just want her to respect me, but I didn't understand the anxiety on her face and on her pace. Maybe she was a student heading for the hall to have a lesson or attend some activities. So the experiment gave me an important lesson, that is, respect is mutual. In conclusion, we all have the ability to understand others, but only when we use this ability, anywhere, anytime, can we really respect each other. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next person, please, wherever we are. Are we here? Yes.
Hi everybody, I'm Faye.
Hi, Faye.
I really appreciate her sweet voice, and she really has a very clear outline. First, back to her childhood, and then give two aspects: the good, the bad. And I really support the smiling. It's really helpful during the communication.
Yes, it is. It really is. Yeah, especially with some doctors have a God complex, and they come in and say, "Here's what's wrong with you. Get out." They have bad bedside manner. I'm sure you've met someone like that.
Oh.
Yes, please. We're going.
Again?
Oh, again? Sorry. Okay. Improvement. Improvement.
Oh,
Again?
hi, I'm Linda.
Hi, Linda.
I think maybe you had a similar problem to what I had, which is like the eyes sort of moving quickly around the room instead of locking onto one person. Yeah, that's like the only thing I could think of that I really noticed. Everything else seemed really nice.
Good.
Thank you. I'm too nervous.
Thank you, Linda. It's a good idea. When you practice with a friend or a group, practice 5 seconds of eye contact. If it's just one person, have them hold their hand out here. You look at this hand for 5 seconds. They go like that. Then you, after 5 seconds, then you go here for 5 seconds. Then you go here for 5 seconds. That will help you remember to sustain the eye contact for 5 seconds. Anya, I liked your introduction. It's what we call a personal story, and you thought, what distinguishes us from animals? And you thought, is it tools? And you thought, no, we can also read non-verbal. So I would have liked a tie back in your ending to somehow the nonverbal or my childhood or what distinguishes us. See, that's what we call a tie back. Again, I'll just say this till I'm blue in the face. Your thesis preview, a little more oomph with your voice. I'm telling you the good, the bad. There was no ugly. Okay, a little more, vocal loudness. Yes. Okay. The good was good. A well-told story. We will all remember it. You repeated your mantra. You continue to repeat it while she's talking, so you know she's respecting you. People can sense and pick that up, and they give you better service. The doctor gave you better service because she felt a mutual respect, and she gave it back to you. Yes, and I think the bad, you said the girl seemed flustered or felt bad. It was probably because she was raised to have good manners, that when someone asks for help, you give them help, and she probably felt guilty. That's just my guess. As for what I learned, that was well put. Remember to repeat again, there was no ugly. And a better summary and tie back, I like the bow at the end. Very nice job. Thank you. Okay?
The time was 3 minutes, 29 seconds.
3:29, a little long, so remember to time it. This is the last one. How many more? Any more? One more?
No.
Come on, keep going, keep going.
Let's go.
Go rock and roll.
Okay, hi, I'm Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi. So universally, there are a bunch of different ways to communicate respect to people, both verbal and nonverbal. I learned that respecting nonverbal was kind of uncomfortable for me, and I didn't exactly know how to put across that I was respecting someone without fully looking at them and giving just this one-to-one eye contact. But today I will tell you about the good and the bad I've experienced from this experiment of communication and respect. So last week I was walking along Ocean Park with my dog, and I saw a homeless man sitting next to a tree with his dog, and he was holding a sign that said, please help feed me and my dog. No money. So obviously I didn't have any cash on me, but I thought this would be the perfect time to practice the experiment. So I looked at him, smiled, and communicated, I respect you. And he kind of smiled at me and said, have a good day. There was no awkward, oh, like, do you have any change? He didn't, like, try to stop me in my tracks. He just let me go, so that was a good experience. And the other experience I had, I wouldn't say it was necessarily bad, but it was more just uncomfortable. I was coming out of Chase Bank, and then I saw a lady behind me coming out, so I held the door open for her, and as she was walking out, I smiled at her and said, I respect you, and she kind of just put her sunglasses on and walked straight past me without smiling or saying thank you.
and it made me feel really disrespected and kind of insecure about myself because I know I always make sure to say thank you to people who hold doors open for me. So in conclusion, what I learned is that it's very simple to communicate respect to someone, and it takes literally 5 seconds out of your life to look up from your phone and just make a one-to-one eye contact with people. But what I also learned is not take things too personally from people because you don't know what's going on in their lives. So when the lady didn't say thank you to me or smile at me, she might have been having a really, really bad day. So yeah, it's just not take things too personally. As long as you're being the best person you can be, that's all you can ask.
Thank you, Kathy. What was the time? 2:21?
Yes.
Great. Let's talk. What'd you like? Next person.
Hi, I'm Judy.
Hi, Judy.
I really like the organization of her speech. Like, she provided what she's going to talk about in her introduction, and and she has good transition between paragraphs. She said now I'm going to move on to the back one, and I'm not going to talk about the first one. So I think.
Okay, good. Improvement.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
So one improvement is one thing that I noticed that while you're
Relax your
you had
hands.
your hands like that. You always had your hands in front of you, clapping them, and not in front.
Yeah. Yes, that was an important thing. Kathy, remember, I guess you typed this before you heard me say it a million times to other people. You want this in an outline form, not paragraphed. And remember, a paragraph is about one idea. You gave me one long, really massive paragraph. And the good would be a paragraph, the bad would be a paragraph, and the ugly would be a paragraph. See, because they're different ideas. So one idea in a paragraph, see? So you just gave me a one long run-on sentence, which was very difficult to follow. You talked about how difficult this assignment was for you to do, and you talked about what you were going to do. But remember, the only thing you had to do, and the only thing you have to continue to do if you're practicing this exercise, is silently say to yourself, I respect you, and look over at a person for 1 to 2 seconds and look away. You don't have to lock eyes or wave or nod your head or bow. You can just say, I respect you, and look away, right? And that's enough, and they'll get it, okay? Your preview was fine and good. Just remember what I've said to others. Use your voice to emphasize it a bit more. Great story with the homeless fellow with the dog. Showed that you made a good connection, that he didn't hit you up for money. Pretty good transition to the chase bank. Bad/ugly. There isn't a really ugly. Say that or something so you adhere to the outline. And I know you felt sort of bad because, it's like I feel this way too. I'll open the door and 10 people walking away. I'm like, what the heck, But, that's just welcome to America 2017, right? Hello. So, yeah. So I get your feelings, and that was good. Also, when you got to this, so what did I learn? More with your voice, and what I thought what you learned was good. What I didn't hear from you was that word in the end, Catherine, a summary. Kathy, you want to say, so let me summarize. I told you the good and the ugly and what I learned, and then tie back to, so if some of you are struggling with how to communicate, nonverbal communication like I was, remember, it becomes easier as you practice more. Thank you. Okay? Good job. Thank you. Okay, next. Got somebody on deck?
Hi everyone, my name is Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
Today I want to talk about my understanding and respect with you. As for me, I think respect is based on mutual understanding among each other. In my daily life, I got different feedbacks from my experiments. During my the good one I want to share with you happened in UCLA. The first time I asked for help the first time I asked help for the housing staff at the dorm, I could not express myself clearly due to language barriers. It was very embarrassed for me, but the staff patiently listened to me and looked at me with a gentle smile. So I felt I got her respect and had the confidence to communicate with her again. So during this, from this experience, I thought she could understand my embarrassed moment, and this nonverbal communication really helps me to reconcile this embarrassment for me. However, the responses from my experiments were not always as good as that. The ugly story happened last weekend when I visited downtown with my friend in Santa Monica. When we wandered around in the street, I noticed a homeless person staring at me. In the past, I would definitely ignore it and immediately leave there. But at that moment, I wanted to make an I respect you cheer with the homeless person. So I looked at him with a smile, and in my mind, I said, I respect you. I understand your situation. But what he did was really surprised me. He made a gun gesture toward us. So we totally freaked out and immediately ran away. So apart from these responses, I think it was very common for us to get no response when we look at someone with a smile, because maybe he's busy for his iPhone, this kind of stuff. So to sum up, I think if you really want to get the respect from someone, it means that we are both understand between each other. So if I respect by someone, I would feel comfortable with him. So I thought it's kind of positive feedback from my respect. So just I will be gentle, kind, and respect in my daily life. Maybe just a simple eye contact communication can make a big difference in my life. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. 251. Next person for a like, please. Stay up there for your feedback, please.
Okay.
In camera views, back. There you go, good.
Hi, I'm Anne.
What's your name?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Anne.
Anne. Hi, Anne.
Yeah, I enjoy your speech. I enjoy your idea that respect is based on mutual respect. Like you respect somebody and you receive it, and that makes you feel comfortable. I like what you learned through your experience. I respect you. Your story is quite succinct. It's concise and it's clear, and your voice is loud, and we just look around the room to push the audience attention. Yeah.
Thank you. And improvement, please. Next, improvement. Yeah.
Sorry, I was in the bathroom.
Okay, who's next? Real loud speech voice, please.
Hi, I'm Elisa.
Hi, Lisa.
I would just say, try to stay in the power stance instead of, this looks a little you're nervous. It was really good.
Power stance, your feet should be wider than your shoulders, so make them wider now. I know it's kind of awkward, but get a little wider. Yeah, and kind of lock your legs so you don't sway. See, that's a little different, right? Yeah. Well, crystal blue persuasion. You had a very short introduction, which just was an observation, saying you think respect is based on mutual understanding. So if that was going to be your introduction, I'd want to see a little tie back to that at the end, as well as a little summary. I told you about the good, the bad, no ugly, and what I learned, see? Second thing I was really looking for, Crystal, I liked your speech, by the way, and I like the way you're dressed nicely contrasts with the white. Thank you for wearing blue. That was good. I want you to have a better thesis preview roadmap for your audience. You want to say, today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you about the good and the ugly. Well, you actually could have divided this up. I'll tell you how in a minute. The good, the bad, the ugly, and what I learned. Now let me go to the good. And then you tell us first about the staff member at UCLA who you got respect by saying I respect you, and you weren't embarrassed by your English, and you got a positive response, and that was a good story, and that was good. And I would have just said, because you said otherwise you didn't get looked at very much, that could have been the bad, that you were ignored. And then the ugly was the homeless guy. Maybe you weren't here when I said this, but I mentioned that you should probably be careful about doing this experiment with homeless people, because many times they're mentally ill and they're on the street and they're not hitting on all 8 cylinders, so it could be dangerous. Also, some men misinterpret the nonverbal, so you have to play that kind of carefully too. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I said, don't do anything to get yourself killed or lose a job. And that sounds like you're on the verge of getting killed by a homeless guy in Santa Monica. But it was a memorable story, well told. My helpfulness to you is your narrative needed to be better and the speech needed to be better organized. Both organized into good, bad, ugly, as I gave you in the prompt, and with your voice, so we knew where you were. So in the final analysis, you mix so what I learned and your summary together. And I think you want to keep it separate and say, so what did I learn? Say what you learned. And then say in summary, I've told you the good, the bad, the ugly, and then tie back to your introduction. But overall, good job, Crystal. Thank you. Next. How was the time? 2:51, yeah. On deck. Okay, Judy Blue Eyes. Rock and roll, Judy. Power stance a little wider. Wider, a little bit wider. That's good, yeah. Good.
Is it too wide? Okay.
Well, you're a tripod. See, tripod can't be tipped over. Lock your legs. You won't sway if you're a tripod. Yeah.
Hi everyone, Judy.
Hi. Oh, wait. Sorry, Judy. Your clothes don't fit you, so we can't see your hands. So put your hands above your elbows, or roll your sleeves up so we can see your hands. And your hair is in your face. Can you wear a bungee cord to class next time, or put it behind your ears so we can actually see? That side is still.
It's for hiding my. Okay, it looks better on screen.
Yeah, but we want to see your facial expression. Yes. Okay, Judy. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but those were important points. Okay, start again, Judy.
What's her name? Okay. I'm Judy.
Hi, Judy.
So, in most of our daily conversations, we use verbal communication because in that way it's easier to accommodate our language usage with other people. So when it comes to nonverbal communication, it's relatively more challenging. So I started to question, what are some key nonverbal cues that can use to make up effective communication? So I'd like to start off talking about 2 experiences that I had when communicating respect nonverbally with people that I met within 48 hours. It's a good one and a bad one. I don't have any ugly ones. So the first one, I'll start off with the good one. So the first one start with, I order food every week, and there's this food delivery guy that I meet every week, but different guys. So this week when the guy handed me my food, I started to look into his eyes. I never really had the chance to talk to him, but like this time I looked into his eyes and I said, thank you. I over-articulate my tone of voice, and I'm using a really genuine tone. And I made eye contact with him, which I really never had the chance to. And the guy smiled at me back, which I guess he understood my message. And then he waved back at me after he walked a few steps away. So I guess that's a pretty good conversation that I had with
communicating respect. And the second one also happens, related with food. I was in a boba shop. I was trying to buy milk tea, and then after I'm waiting for my milk tea, and then the guy handed me my milk tea. I stared at him for a few seconds, and then he gave me the "Why are you staring at me?" look, and then I was super embarrassed at that time. And then I grabbed my milk tea and I walked away. So from these two experiences I had, I want to make a relationship with nonverbal communication cues that or to make up effective communication, because I started to understand like tone of voice, intonations, and body language for sure, and eye contact are some key aspects to understand for good nonverbal communication. And also, more importantly, we then learned that to speak from our heart and to when you express your thought, you really need to mean what we're saying. And when you're trying to make eye contact with the audience, you really need to you really mean when you're communicating respect, and the audience will understand what you're saying. So to sum up, I think this experiment is pretty successful because the primary goal is to figure out what are some key nonverbal cues, and I figure out that eye contact, body language, intonation, and tone of voice are definitely ones. And finally, more importantly, is to speak from our heart, and when you mean something you're saying, your audience will understand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Judy, stay up there for your feedback. Next person, please. We done over here? Okay, what'd you like?
I liked how you...
Name?
My name's Lorena.
Hi, Lorena.
I liked how you said, so this is what I'm going to say, and then you're like, this is what I learned, and this is my conclusion. So it kind of like, okay, now she's talking here about this.
Improvement? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lee.
Hi, Lee.
I think her speech is kind of very fast to me.
Okay.
Kind of hard to understand.
Okay, that's honest. You like to hear that. Your hair's back in your face. Okay. So wear a bungee cord next time to class so your hair's back or up. Judy, I really liked your speech and what you did. I disagree with a little bit of what you did, but I'm going to tell you about it. But I think you were very searching and very wise in what you did, and so that was good. You were trying to sort of come up with how you were going to express the communication non-verbally. In addition to saying the mantra a lot, I respect you, I respect you. And my point is that if you're saying the mantra a lot of the things that you discovered come, like being courteous, softening your voice, speaking from the heart, saying thank you so much, and so thank you, come from repeating the mantra. See? Yeah. So your thesis preview, good, bad, no ugly, we got so we could follow you. A little more voice, louder, so we knew it was your roadmap. It's very important. You told us the good. You got the big smile, and from the your hands are gone again. You like wearing clothes that don't fit, huh? Okay, good. And he got it, and that was good. I would just add, thank you so much. Is a good habit to getting into it. It really helps you stand out from a thank you. But that was good. You could tell you broke through and he got it and he appreciated it. He was treated like a human being and not as a robot. And people don't like to be treated like robots. What you didn't do is have a running narrative. You didn't say, now that I've told you about the good, let me tell you about the bad. You just went right into the bad, see? So pull your narrative out, Judy. You just went right on to, then I went to the boba shop. Okay, and I got milk too. And I stared at the dude too long and he thought I was weird, so I ran away. Okay, well, let me talk about that. we don't want to stare too long because we just say, I respect you, and look away is all we need to do. And we can, as he's talking to us, and you say, thank you so much. We're repeating the mantra as he's making our boba. We can say, thank you for serving us and making our bobas. We appreciate that to yourself. But you don't bug-eye him and stare at him so long, and I think that's what was happening. I really liked what you detailed in your what I learned. I thought it was very thoughtful. You put a lot of thought into that. But just remember what I said. These things come if you're repeating the mantra, I respect you. They will come. Your summary, conclusion, and tieback could have been more with. So let me summarize what I've done. I've told you about the good and the ugly and what I learned. And then we wanted to tie back to this thing about somehow the nonverbal in the voice and what I learned, okay? But good job, thank you. And take note of old Lee back there saying, and you have an international audience, so you want to slow down. What was the time?
2:59.
Yeah, you got it right in. Okay, thank you. Okay, next. How many more? Is this the last one? Great. 4 more?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this will be the last one. I'm going to talk about the film speech for a few minutes. Okay. Okay. On stands before you manage an attention. Lock your hands. Move that way a little bit. You're not in the center of the room. Yeah, there you are now. Okay, good. Say your name. Feel the law. Start your speech.
Hi everyone, I'm Anne.
Hi, Anne.
Oh, okay. Nonverbal communication is powerful. Even when you and people are just merely looking at each other without any actual conversations, they still interpret your facial expression and your behavior to determine if you are really safe to them or not. And then they send you instant good or bad feedback. Therefore, properly showing people your respect is important. And usually, I show people my signal that I'm safe to them. I respect them by looking to their eyes, not like this, and then smiling at them gently. However, my respect expression does not always get the same response. So here I'm telling you the good, the bad, and even the early effects that I have encountered through my experiment. I respect you. One of my comfortable experiences is when I was checking out a CVS
3 steps to the
pharmacy.
right, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and I smiled at the woman right behind me to convey my respect to her. And then she smiled me back and offered me to use her CVS card to get a discount. And I got like $10 discount for my purchase, thanks to my respect to the lady and her kind feedback. The bad thing is that not everyone interprets my respect signal correctly. Some people just gave me the cold face back like this. They look at me weirdly and questionably, and then they turn away without smiling at me back, as if like I'm acting weird or I'm calculating something to them that they don't want me to like get close to them. And the early effect is that there was
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
Saved by the bell. Oh boy. Okay, good. Okay, we're still rolling, but barely. It's still on. Isn't that amazing?
Okay. And the early effect is
Can't
that
kill these
there
Ciscos.
were,
Okay.
is this okay right
It's
now?
still going. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Okay. The early effect is that there was a man giving me a close gesture when I smile and look at him like kissing a girl. So, through my experiment, I learned that not everyone interprets my respect signal in the same way. Like some people misinterpret it and react like unexpectedly, maybe due to the cultural differences. Like different cultures have different gestures to signify respect, or maybe due to the physical barriers, like people like simply don't smile and feel comfortable because like the weather is too hot, or because they already had a bad mood in the day. So overall, I still believe that giving people a gentle look and smile is a universal signal to show respect, because I receive much more positive feedback and rewards by doing this. However, the negative response encourages me to become